Hello guys, this is going to be a review of the Technica ATH-M50X. Now, the M50 in general is a very well regarded professional studio monitor and headphone. And in general, a studio monitor and headphone is basically a headphone suitable for the studio purposes, as the name implies. However, what really makes these headphones applicable to that specific scenario is the ability for the headphone to offer a relatively balanced and neutral frequency response and exceptional levels of clarity. You don't want the headphone to exhibit any significant levels of coloration to the sonic presentation. You want the headphones to be relatively flat and neutral, and you want the headphones to be very clear, and you want the headphones to also be sealed so it doesn't leak some of the sound from itself out into the ambient environment. So the M50 is pretty much, I would go as far as to say, the most popular studio monitor and headphone. It's pretty much recommended countless times. It's Amazon's #1 selling studio monitor and headphone with over 3,000 reviews, and the average reviews are about 4.5 out of 5 stars, which is very, very good. So what led me to pick these headphones up is because Audio-Technica just recently revised the M50 with the M50X, which is this model right here. And essentially what they've done was they've sort of like reinforced the headband material as well as the air pad material, increasing the durability and increasing the level of comfortability of the material, as well as including a removable cable system, which is very, very, very convenient. Also including 3 cables with the packaging. So the cable that I have installed is the simple portable cable, which is a 1.2 meter straight cable, which is great for using it outside with your portable source. It also comes with a coiled cable and a much more longer straight cable, which is suitable for studio use. To start it off, this headphone is entirely, well, not necessarily entirely, but its majority of it is constructed of very durable plastic. It's not going to, break anytime soon. This feels like a very rugged and rigid pair of headphones. And just the M50, you can see by the level of positive reviews and essentially the longevity of those headphones that I have, very high hopes for this headphone. This headphone will pretty much last a very long time. The comfortability of these headphones to me is excellent. They're very ergonomic. The pads can swivel in so many different directions, so they can pretty much accommodate any type of head style. The cups can extend very far away, and as you can see, the pads can pivot and swivel and rotate in pretty much nearly every direction that you can really think of. Also, the air cups, for convenience sake, can fold up like so to pretty much fit inside the included pouch for storage needs. So now let's dive into the sonic characteristics and the overall sound quality of the ATH-M50X. These headphones, in my opinion, sound absolutely amazing. I really, really enjoy the sound that this headphone has, and it's a really unique sense of enjoyment that I have, because most headphones that I get, there's always a little flaw in their presentation, or their presentation may just be tailored to a certain specific genre or a set of genres where I have to utilize an equalizer in order to have their sound be tolerable. These headphones right out of the box just sound absolutely amazing. So in general, the frequency response balance of this headphone is essentially tilted towards the warm side of the spectrum, as you can see by this frequency response. The bass is very, very extended, and it's elevated above the mid-range and the treble. However, the bass is not overly extended, and it's also very controlled, as you can see by the THD plot here. The bass area doesn't really go over the 1% range, which indicates a very tight and controlled bass. In general, the entire THD is well below 1%, which pretty much indicates a very clean sounding headphone. Now moving over to the mid-range, it's a very, very, very accurate and flat mid-range with no sense of coloration or peaks or dips. So let me get more in detail with the sound. Let's start off with the actual bass. The bass, like I said previously, is very tight, very extended, very rich, very controlled. It's a very amazing sounding bass for a closed back headphone. The bass really doesn't overstep its boundaries and mask any of the subtle detail in any of the layering or harmonics in the sound. It's a very nice bass presentation that extends amazingly well, and it's really not much more I can ask for in a bass presentation. Moving over to the mid-range to get more in detail, like I said before previously, the mid-range is relatively flat and accurate, which is what's necessary for a studio monitor. You really hear a lot of subtle details and spatial cues, and the subtle sense of reverberation of the notes and the harmonics, and it just comes through so nice and crystal clear. And the tonality is very much spot on. The mid-range has a good sense of weight, and transitioning over to the treble, being that the treble is sort of relaxed in a sense, it's not necessarily neutral. This is a very relaxed treble. It gives the mid-range that extra sense of warmth and that extra sense of vividness, which really reduces the possibility of listening fatigue. You can listen to this sound from the ATH-M50X for hours on end, thanks to also its comfortability and the sense of smoothness to the sounds. So you can really listen to these for hours on end, and you're not going to develop any sense of listening fatigue. So the treble is very, very articulate, very resolving, very nice and smooth and grainless. It's a very nicely rendered treble, and I just love how it doesn't introduce any sense of harshness to the sound. There's no harsh transients, there's no oddities, and there's no ruining of the tonality because of an over-present treble. The treble on these are just beautifully rendered, and I absolutely love it. Now moving over to the soundstage, as a result of this cleanly rendered treble, the soundstage is also pretty good for a closed back. It's nice and open. It has very good sense of instrument separations. Nothing ever sounds claustrophobic. Instruments pretty much pop out in their specific regions, and everything is just rendered very, very precisely. Nothing gets favored. It's just a beautifully rendered sound. I absolutely love the sound that the M50Xs have to offer. So in general, for the price that I paid for these, which is about $185, these are just absolutely a beautiful value. It's just amazing that Audio-Technica essentially listened to all of the minor complaints that the regular M50 had, kept the same styling, kept generally the same acoustical performance, and just went straight to what the customers wanted. They didn't re-engineer anything and ruin anything. They pretty much took the if it's not broken, don't fix it approach, and I highly respect them for doing that. This is a very well-regarded headphone, and the X essentially just pretty much is a more refined version, and at this price, this is a no-brainer. I highly, highly recommend this headphone for someone who needs to utilize this in a studio environment, or just wants a really accurate representation of their music on the go, or just listening at home. I love these headphones. So if I haven't pretty much covered anything in this review, feel free to post them below in the comments. I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Thanks for watching this video review of the Audio-Technica ATH-M50X. Later.